Everybody, this is to go over quiz 1.2. This topic 1.2 had to do with matter and matter as it gets transferred within the bodies of living things or within ecosystems. You're also starting to develop understandings not just of matter, but how matter gets put together into different kinds of molecules that are important for organisms. So these are the macromolecules of life. If you haven't already, you should be making flashcards of all the major macromolecules of life, their structures, the elements that are part of them, their functions, the different monomers that they possess, as well as the different kinds of polymers they can form. This is something you kind of got to just memorize so that you can feel more comfortable using the information. Even without that, however, you can logic your way through most of these if you are carefully analyzing diagrams. So in the first one, we have a plant that has these structures. The material goes into the rabbit, and then the rabbit creates this structure. You do need to be able to follow arrows in a diagram. They're always going to show you the direction of the flow of either information or materials or whatever. In this case, it says which best describes how the organisms such as rabbits obtain the carbon for building biological molecules. And we see that it looks like the rabbit obtains it from the grass with the starch. The correct answer most of you selected was B. A few of you selected the answer that rabbits eat plants and make carbon molecules by using carbon atoms that the plants absorb from the soil and stored in the cells of their leaves. And that's not an entirely wrong answer. It's a partially wrong answer. It's true that rabbits eat the plants and make carbon-containing molecules, but there's a couple phrasing problems here. First of all, the rabbits don't make the carbon-containing molecules. They obtain carbon and then rearrange it into new. So they don't make it. And also in D, they just have a wrong statement, which is that plants don't get their carbon atoms from the soil. They get their carbon atoms from the air. And that's a fundamental thing about energy transfer that you do need to understand. Plants get nitrogen, phosphorus, sodium, iron, a whole bunch of other things from the soil, but they do not get carbon, hydrogen, or oxygen from the soil. Okay. Matter exchange. So you do need in this unit to understand how matter is exchanged between living things in a system. This one I think people got wrong because they didn't carefully read the introduction and the diagram. In it, they explain that the bacteria are the little rod-shaped things. You need to look and see that carbon dioxide always stays out of the soil. It comes out of the fish, and oxygen goes back into the fish after being processed somehow by the plant. But then we also see this other pathway of these things called ammonia, nitrites, and nitrates that look like they're down in the gravel. The correct answer is that ammonia molecules released by the fish are converted by bacteria. If you read the introduction, you'd know these are bacteria, into nitrates, which they are ultimately, which are used by the plants. Now, nitrogen is used to produce proteins and nucleic acids and things like that, so you would recognize that from here. The next and last question. This one is a tough question, and a lot of you didn't get this one right, or more of you got this one incorrect. You have to read about plants grown in sawdust, and you have to look and see that there's a difference in height. The plants are more grayish, they're smaller, and so you're wanting to consider why. This comes back to the idea of where carbon and hydrogen come from versus other nutrients. For a plant, carbon and hydrogen come from the air. So which of these things most likely limited or resulted in the difference in the ability to produce the monomers they need to create their structure? Well, plants do make all the monomers shown in part A here. So that is, those are true structures, but those are made from the air that they absorb, the carbon dioxide they absorb from the atmosphere. The soil would contain things like phosphorus and nitrogen and would affect the formation of the amino acids. This is amino acid. You should recognize the structure of an amino acid, the building block of a protein. And you should also recognize the building block of DNA. So this is a nucleic acid. By structure, you should be able to identify them. Nitrogen is in there, phosphorus is in there. The R groups contain a bunch of different sulfur, different objects like that. Nitrogen is in these. So both of these would be limited when grown in sawdust. A, the most often selected wrong answer, none of those materials are limited by the sawdust. The plant can take in carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen just fine, either directly from the water and the sawdust or from the air in the form of carbon. Okay? So this one is more testing. Do you know what the elements are that make each of the building blocks? Let me know if you have questions.